Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive.
Into a topic that I'm sure is near and dear to many of your hearts, the wild and often overwhelming world of drug approval,
Yeah.
specifically getting a new drug approved by the FDA.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a process.
it is a process.
Yes.
We're not going to lie to you.
Absolutely not.
It's not for the faint of heart, but
That's why we're here.
that's why we're doing this deep dive.
Because
We're diving deep into those crucial steps.
the potential pitfalls and especially the stuff that nobody really talks about.
Right.
Those under the radar aspects that can really make or break you.
Yeah, and I
Like
think
this.
it's really about understanding the why behind the what.
Yes.
A lot of times people get caught up in the what do I need to do,
Right.
but they don't.
The checklist.
Yeah, they don't think about why am I doing this? How does this all fit into the bigger picture?
Exactly.
So let's jump right in with one of those often overlooked but absolutely critical elements.
CMC, chemistry, manufacturing, and controls.
CMC is so important.
It is.
And I feel like sometimes it gets this like,
Oh, yeah, that's just the technical stuff.
yeah, they just think, oh, it's just paperwork.
Right.
It's just
Like, oh, yeah, we'll get to that at the end.
Right.
No.
It needs to be
This is important
from day one
from day one.
because CMC is happening throughout this entire process.
Much later.
It's not just something you tack on at the end.
Right. You can't just have this great drug and then figure out how to make it later.
Exactly.
You need to be thinking about CMC from the very beginning.
So let's break it down.
What are the key make it or break it components of CMC that our listeners absolutely need to understand?
Okay, well, first and foremost, stability studies.
Okay.
This is non-negotiable. You have to prove that your drug can stand the test of time.
You know, it's got to maintain its quality and effectiveness sometimes for years.
Years.
Years. And we're talking about rigorous testing under all sorts of conditions.
Like, what kind of conditions are we talking about?
Temperature swings, humidity, the packaging itself, all of it can impact the drug's stability.
So it's not just about does it work?
It's about does it work consistently over time?
Precisely.
And this is where understanding the nuances of different regulatory environments is crucial.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because, different countries have different requirements,
Right.
stability data on different types of formulations.
So give me an example.
Sure, so let's say you have an injectable drug.
Okay.
Some countries might have much stricter requirements for the stability data on that injectable compared to, say, a tablet.
Wow.
And you need to know that up front.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so you need to be thinking globally.
So early on.
Even if you're just starting out, you need to have that global perspective in mind.
Wow. So it's not just about where you are now.
It's about where you want to be down the line.
Exactly. A global strategy from day one can save you a lot of headaches later on.
Headaches and delays.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you have to go back and redo things,
Yes.
that's time and money.
It's a nightmare.
Okay, so we've tackled stability studies. What's next?
Process validation.
Okay, process validation. What is that all about?
This is where your meticulously crafted manufacturing process comes in.
Okay,
Every single step,
every single step.
from raw materials to the final packaged product, needs to be documented and validated.
To ensure.
Consistency and reproducibility.
Sounds like a recipe.
But instead of baking a cake, you're creating a life-saving drug.
Exactly, and the stakes are a bit higher.
Just a bit.
Right,
And remember, this documentation isn't just for you, it's for the FDA.
right.
They need to be confident that you can produce that same high-quality drug batch after batch, year after year,
So it's about proving to the FDA.
that you can do what you say you can do.
Exactly, and that you can do it consistently.
That's where a robust quality by design QBD approach can be incredibly valuable.
QBD, that's a new one.
Tell me more.
It's a science-based approach to manufacturing,
Okay.
where you're really focused on understanding and controlling the process to ensure quality.
So instead of just making the drug and hoping for the best,
You're designing quality into every single step.
exactly, it's proactive problem solving rather than reactive troubleshooting.
I like that.
Proactive versus reactive.
You're identifying potential variations in the process early on,
And building in controls to mitigate those risks.
so you're not just putting out fires.
No.
You're preventing them altogether.
Exactly.
And the FDA loves that.
Oh, they love it.
It shows them that you have a deep understanding of your process and a commitment to quality that goes beyond just checking boxes.
It's about building that trust
Yes.
with the FDA,
trust and confidence.
showing them that you're not cutting corners.
Absolutely.
QBD. I'm adding that to my list of must-haves.
It's a game changer.
QBD, I'm putting that at the top of my list.
That's essential.
Essential.
All right, so we've got this amazing drug.
We've got our meticulously documented process thanks to QBD,
Right.
but now we need someone to actually make the stuff.
Yes.
Enter the CMO.
The contract manufacturing organizations
They're the
who
one.
are actually going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to manufacturing.
Absolutely. They're essential partners in this process.
So what are some things that our listeners should keep in mind?
When they're thinking about partnering with a CMO,
Well, first and foremost, you need to choose the right CMO.
of course.
And that means doing your due diligence.
Like, what kind of due diligence are we talking about?
Well, for starters, you need to make sure they have experience with your type of drug.
Okay, so if it's a biologic,
Right, if it's a biologic organ, you don't want to go with a CMO that's only ever worked with small molecules.
makes sense.
You want someone who understands the intricacies of your specific type of product.
Absolutely.
And you also want to look at their track record.
Their regulatory history.
Exactly. Have they had any issues with the FDA in the past?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, you can actually check their inspection records online.
You can.
Absolutely.
I did not know
It's
that.
public information.
Wow. So it's like doing a background check on a potential business partner.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, so you've chosen your CMO.
You've done your due diligence.
Right.
Everything's going smoothly.
And the FDA inspector shows up at your door.
Chuckles nervously.
Mhm.
That's always a fun day.
How do you make sure that that visit goes as smoothly as possible?
Preparation is key.
Of course.
You need to be ready for anything.
So it's not just about having a spotless facility.
No, it's much more than that.
What else is involved?
They could be looking at your systems, your documentation.
Your overall quality culture.
They want to see that you really understand the regulations
Exactly.
and that you're committed to compliance.
At every single level.
So how do you demonstrate that?
Well, a big part of it is having a robust quality agreement in place with your CMO.
Okay, so this is like a contract
In a way,
that outlines all of the responsibility.
when it comes to quality and compliance.
Exactly. It should clearly define who's responsible for what.
So there's no confusion,
No surprises.
no finger pointing.
Precisely. You want to make sure that your CMO is just as invested in a successful inspection as you are.
That makes sense.
And that means outlining clear expectations, communication protocols.
And even consequences for noncompliance.
So it's really about building that strong communicative partnership,
Absolutely, communication is key.
transparency,
Collaboration.
working together as a team.
That's the recipe for success.
You're building this fortress of preparation
Yes.
to make sure that when that inspector arrives, you are ready for them.
Exactly. And a big part of that fortress is document management.
Ah, yes, document management.
Can't forget about the paperwork.
It's not the most exciting topic.
I know, but it is crucial.
It is absolutely critical.
The FDA loves their documents.
They do.
They want to see a clear, auditable trail.
For every single step.
Every single step from development to manufacturing.
So tell me a little bit more about what that looks like in practice.
Well, it's not just about having mountains of paperwork. It's about having the right paperwork organized and easily accessible.
So organization is key.
Absolutely. And that's where an electronic document management system really shines.
So we're talking about digitizing everything. Okay.
Exactly. Version control audit trails, electronic signatures, all of that good stuff.
So you can find what you need
Instant.
when you need it.
Yep. No more frantically searching through filing cabinets.
Or, emailing around trying to find the latest version of a document.
Right. Exactly.
Because we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've got our digital document management system in place.
We're feeling good about that.
Okay.
What else do we need to keep in mind when it comes to document management?
Well, think about personnel changes.
Okay.
People come and go,
That's the nature of the industry.
right? You don't want critical information walking out the door with a departing employee.
That's a good point.
So you need to make sure that your document management system is set up to capture all of that institutional knowledge.
So it's not reliant on any one person.
Exactly. It's about creating a system
Where that information is accessible,
to everyone who needs it.
no matter what.
Exactly.
Wow, this has been incredibly eye-opening.
I feel like we've really only just scratched the surface of this massive topic.
It's a big one.
It is. But for our listeners out there,
Who are maybe just starting to navigate this world of drug approval.
what are some key takeaways, some guiding principles that they can keep in mind?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to remember that successful drug approval is not a matter of luck.
Okay.
It's the result of meticulous planning
Proactive execution.
and a relentless focus on quality and compliance.
Absolutely.
It's about sweating the small stuff.
So you can focus on the big picture.
which is getting those life-changing therapies to patients.
Exactly. And remember, the FDA is not your enemy.
No, they're your partner.
They're there to help you.
Navigate this complex process and ultimately to ensure the safety and efficacy of new drugs.
Well said.
So to our listeners out there, approach this journey with confidence.
Armed with the knowledge you've gained today.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
There are experts and resources available every step of the way.
Absolutely. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their incredible insights today.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, until next time, keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep diving deep.